Oh, great interview, Martha. President John F. Kennedy, every president since him has routinely gotten them, but Donald Trump says he doesn't need to unless something changes. We're talking about the presidential daily briefing. What it means if you skip some of the PDBs. Is he correct? We'll have a fair and balanced debate on that next.
I don't have to be told, I'm like a smart person. I don't have to be told the same thing and the same words every single day for the next 8 years.
You are getting the presidential daily brief only once a week.
Well, I get it when I need it.
But is there some skepticism?
First of all, these are very good people that are giving me the briefings. And I say, if something should change from this point, immediately call me. I'm available on 1 minute's notice. I don't have to be told, I'm like a smart person. I don't have to be told the same thing and the same words every single day for the next 8 years. Could be 8 years, but 8 years. I don't need that. But I do say, if something should change, let us know.
Oh, that's President-elect Donald Trump firing back at the critics, saying he does not need those intelligence briefings, as you heard, every day, because he says he's a smart person, and he does not need to hear the same thing twice. So what does it really mean to our national security if the president skips the PBDs? Marianne Marsh, former senior advisor to Secretary of State John Kerry, joins us. Katie Pavlich, news editor for townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. Marianne, let's start with you. You heard him just say that. He doesn't need to hear the same stuff every single day unless something changes. Does he have a point, or is he off base?
Look, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. They're not entitled to their own facts. But that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing here by deciding to shun these briefings. And you have to ask yourself why. It is clear he's been openly contemptuous of all the intelligence agencies throughout the campaign and since the election. So he either doesn't want to know the information that they're sharing with him, he doesn't want to be held accountable, or he doesn't like the fact he is facing the very intelligence agencies that have Donald Trump, Paul Manafort, and Carter Page under investigation for their ties to Russia. Those are the only explanations.
Well,
and I think that's pretty ironic.
Are you saying it's like an ostrich? He's putting his head in the sand, Marianne?
Look, anyone who's the commander-in-chief of the United States of America is obligated to be held accountable and fully informed. And Donald Trump, by choosing to shun these briefings and saying he's going to put his own people in these agencies, is doing just that and putting every American life at risk in the process, and that is irresponsible and a dereliction of duty.
Katie, will American national security be endangered?
Well, first, I think it's important to point out that there's no evidence that the intelligence communities are investigating Trump himself, although there has been some talk about
this. No, Katie, that is widely published.
They've been
in the New York
investigating
Times,
the Russian connection to meddling in the election. But in terms of national security, I know that Donald Trump is an efficient guy, and I know that he doesn't like to waste a lot of time. But the fact is that he should be taking these intelligence briefings every single day, especially coming into the office and preparing to be the commander-in-chief. It's great that the advisors around him are getting the briefings as well when he's not getting all of them. But the fact is that at the end of the day, he is the commander-in-chief, and he's the one who's going to have to make decisions. And the other thing, too, is, look, it's one thing to get updated if things change, but the whole point of these daily briefings is to show that Americans are under constant, daily, dangerous threat from a variety of foreign actors and terrorist groups around the world. And that's the reminder of getting that briefing every day. And we don't want things necessarily to change. It's also about preempting issues that may come up. So I think he should be taking the briefings. And by the way, he criticized President Obama for skipping briefings, and he shouldn't be held to a different standard as a result of that.
Well,
either.
The ignorance could be catastrophic. Remember August 6th in Crawford, Texas, when President George W. Bush received the briefing that bin Laden was going to strike at the U.S. But, to be fair, Marianne, finally, what does the president do when he gets this type of information?
Well, you're exactly right, Eric. The fact is, George Bush did not take his daily briefing seriously. And we have the photos.
Well, is that fair? Is that really fair to say that? That's not really fair.
Telling him.
Okay,
to your point, he did not take the briefing. He did not take the briefing just before 9/11 seriously because he was told the United States was going to be attacked. Number one. Number two, let me correct Katie. Widely reported in October, the Washington Post, the New York Times, many publications stated by name Donald Trump, Paul Manafort, Manafort, Carter Page under an intelligence investigation for their ties to Russia.
Well, we
that is a
haven't
fact.
seen. We don't know if Mr. Trump himself is under investigation.
Right,
We've heard this
no,
about
he
Carter.
is. No, he is. It was widely reported.
Sadly,
they named him by name.
Sadly, we're out of time because we're up against the clock. That's the ultimate. That's the judgment. The ultimate. It's a computer. It's not me. Katie and Marianne, thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.